In this video, I'm giving you the latest update on news about the PCR requirement that the judge ordered as of last week. Some sort of information was due today. This is what I just found out maybe 10 minutes ago, so follow along. Okay, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever it is you're located. This is the latest information that I could find regarding the requirement of a PCR test to enter Colombia. There was supposed to be some news given today. This is what I just found out just as I was stepping out to lunch at 12:02. I noticed that this had just popped up. So let's just jump right over to this one. This is from Infobae again. Again, that's infobae.com for Colombia. The story is entitled, "For now, Colombia will not request a PCR test for travelers entering the country." The Ministry of Health asked the judge for clarification on the order to request negative test, which is why they will not be required to enter Colombia, which they will not yet be required to enter Colombia. Excuse me. Oh my God, that's never fun. What they ought to do is just do it at the airport. But anyway, let me read this really quick because I just have a short time for lunch. As it had announced last week, the government ruled this Tuesday on the order of a Bogota judge who ordered it to demand the negative PCR tests from anyone who wanted to enter the country. The Ministry of Health, headed by the head of Fernando Ruiz, he asked the Administrative Judge 11 of Bogota for clarification on his order, since the decision of the portfolio to eliminate the request for the test was based on international scientific recommendations. This was stated by Andres Uribe, manager of IATA Colombia, when the judge's decision was made known to Blue Radio. According to the union leader, the decision of the health portfolio was justified because, according to Uribe, asking for a negative test does not guarantee that no infected person will come on the planes that arrive in Colombia. Initially, we had a containment phase where it made sense to limit the entry of travelers, but for some time now, we have been in mitigation phase in which the country's contagion levels are similar to those of other countries, with which Colombia has a commercial exchange of tourism and others, confirmed on Tuesday, the Minister of Health. What Minister Fernando Ruiz argued is that at this time, it should not be necessary to attend the judge's sentence for an indefinite period of time, since it makes no sense to limit air activity, as well as the right to mobilize people. Taking this consideration into account, the minister sent a special request to the judge, a series of questions to clarify the reasons why Colombia should request a negative PCR test and for how long. Until the judge clarifies these questions with epidemiological criteria, people do not need the PCR test to enter Colombia, added the minister. In the first step, the official asked the judge to clarify for how long it proposes that Colombia keep this request to travelers and under what epidemiological grounds. Followed, Ruiz also questioned why PCR tests should be asked. Why PCR tests should be asked? Because, quote, "In the world, there is another set of protocols that the country has rejected for not being as sensitive or specific as we are using." Minister Fernando Ruiz added that immediate application of the judge's order is not possible because many travelers do not have the time or place to take the test, reason for which it ratified that until the judge does not rule on the question of the ministry, the measure will not be applied. Why would a negative PCR test be required in Colombia? That's a question. A citizen presented, was rehashed what I put out yesterday. So let me see what is new. A citizen presented before the 11th Municipal Civil Court of Bogota a tutelage in which he demanded that the national government once again demand the negative test of COVID-19 from travelers arriving from abroad into Colombia. On November 4th, the Ministry of Health modified the biosafety protocol for the management and control of the risk of the coronavirus in air transport and incidentally eliminated the requirement of the negative PCR test 96 hours in advance for passengers entering the country. On Thursday of last week, the ruling in favor of the interposed guardianship was known, and the 11th Administrative Court of Orality of the Bogota Circuit ordered the national government to again demand the test for travelers entering from abroad. Just this last little bit. Order the immediate suspension of the modification made in Article 1 of Resolution number 1972 of November 4th, 2020 regarding the non-requirement prior to shipment from the country of origin, the PCR test with a negative result issued by the Ministry of Health and Social Protection and is required as a requirement to enter the country. A certificate of the PCR test with negative test result for the COVID-19 virus to each of the travelers who enter by air. Likewise, the quarantine is fulfilled or preventative isolation for 14 days in the place of housing or accommodation provided in advance by each traveler, the sentence reads. What I don't get is that no one has addressed this. Until this last sentence, no one even brought up the fact about the 14-day quarantine, and that's going to be the biggest issue. I know a lot of you guys don't mind paying the test. I mean, you probably mind, but you would pay the test to get there, no issues, especially since everyone's doing it. But that 14 days, you know, I've seen the comments, that 14 days is a kicker. Anyway, this is as much information as I can find right now. For the couple of people, if you watch my videos, do comment something negative that this is fake news, that I'm bringing this out of nowhere, I don't get it. I'm reading stories that I find to pass on information that I deem is beneficial to you guys who are going down in the near future. I know I would want to know. That's how I function in life. You know, just like my last apartment, I did a video on that because I wanted to tell people before they moved in. Just like now, I want to tell you before you book your flight. Knowledge is power. You can make better decisions once you have this information. So I'm just pulling as much information. You know, I have a way of sorting and, you know, a couple of sites where they send me alerts, and that's how I find out so quickly. But I'm doing this for you guys that are going there, so hopefully it helps. If it does, you know, I appreciate the positive comments, but the couple of people that did, like I said, you know, bye, Felicia. I ain't got time for that. But anyway, if you're getting anything of benefit from my videos, do me a favor, like the videos, hit the subscribe button, click the bell to be alerted of any new videos. As soon as I find out more information, I will pass it on, and be safe.
We have a YouTube channel, like it. Please comment and share if you like the video. Please subscribe and kick the bell.